I can see, hear, feel, know, every sense that you could possibly imagine. That's how I can communicate. And they choose how to communicate with me.
Like, why do souls, if you will, why are they continually coming back? Is there a meaning behind that? Is it just to give us guidance?
Think of the person you love the most here now. You'd want, surely, to go down to whoever you love the most, come down straight away and go, it's okay, I'm here. It really is real. It really does go on. This is just a little step to another dimension. I promise you I'm here. It's one of the biggest things they do. They want to create the comfort. They want to show you they're still there.
Where are they on the other side? Like, what is going on the other side from your understanding? I really appreciate, again, you being here. And if you want to get the ball rolling, I think this is a better place than any to start. So I would love for you to tell me who you are. Tell the people that are listening a little about you.
My name is Nikki Allen. I am, from birth, a psychic medium. I come back from many generations of psychics and mediums before me. So I'm a bit of a spooky dooky girl. But this is the interesting bit. I was obsessed with wanting to be a cop. So I was a police officer for nearly 20 years, major detective I was, basically. Hang on a minute, I've mucked that up already. Bloody hell.
You're good. This isn't live. All right.
It's this bit I can't do. The rest of it,
don't worry.
fine.
Yeah, forget the formalities. You can just give it to us. It's all good. Don't sweat it.
That's fine. So I always wanted to be a cop, and I always wanted to be a murder investigation detective, always. And I became that. And my greatest role was looking after families of murder victims and rape victims. So I don't know, I had this thing about death, perhaps because I could see people. You know, when my dad died, when I was 9 in a road accident, I saw him 2 days after he passed, talking to me, telling me he's okay. And I went back to my family and went, completely mad, and said, I've just seen him alive. Why have you lied to me? It's then my granddad told me I'd see angels and dead people and all sorts of things. But I got retired from the police service, and it's a long story, but I ended up being put into the mainstream of the public with my mediumship, angel channeling, my books, and it just kind of kicked off from there. I would say I'm most probably an expert at loss. If you listen to my whole story of my life, you'll think I've made it up. You'll think it's fiction. The amount of loss that I've suffered in my life is immense. So I kind of feel my reason for being now is helping people through that darkest abyss of pain that you have with grief, because nobody gets it. There's no written book or guidelines or time zones of what you should and shouldn't be doing. Now, I've learnt that with my most recent passing. And so I want to help people get through that and share how I get through it, and how I deal with it. And I'm totally transparent with it. I've been through hell, and I still am in hell, to be honest with you. So that's why I really am so motivated to come on and see beautiful people like you, talk to people around the world, because it's something that people shy away from. People that, hear of someone passing, they're like, oh, I don't know what to say. I'll just send some flowers. And people, I remember after my dad passed, and people used to look up and cross the street rather than face talking about death. And yes, it is easier for me because I know where we go on from here. But then saying that, there is a bit of a misconception, because I'm a human being as well. I still want physical touch and cuddles and have that person there, I've just got an extra little tool to help me get through it a bit easier. And that's what I want to share.
That's beautiful. I know it's interesting. You kind of answered the question I was going to ask, because you did mention how, when going through grief, there's no handbook, there's no instruction manual, if you will. But then with what you can do, it's interesting because, and you said it's perhaps maybe a little easier for you, but you're still human. You still have those emotions. So it doesn't take the pain away. But you do have a little bit of a cheat code, if you will, for very little lack of words, if you will. If you have access to across the veil, then it's a little bit different, of course. But before I get into that, I do want to take a step back to one of the first words you said. You said you were a medium by birth. So what does that exactly mean besides the literal term of that? Did you discover this at an extremely young age? And if you did, what was that like?
Yeah, it was to me, it wasn't anything different, because I didn't think I was anything different. And most people that are born, the biggest, broadest term at the moment is people saying they're awake or they're open to the energies that are coming in. And so rather than me know that there was something kind of going on and then eventually taking myself off to a class or going to, a mediumship circle, from a child, I could literally, from about 4 years old, I used to stand like a weirdo, like Carol Ann, looking at the TV. I used to stand there looking at the top of our landing upstairs, and I could see this huge doorway. And I didn't realise it was like the main portal through to heaven. And I used to keep saying to my mum, and my dad, was, he knew he was going to die. As I say, we're all psychics. And I was like, wow, what's that? He goes, you don't need to know about that yet. I used to visit in my sleep. I used to astrally travel to places. I'd predict things, but I thought everybody could do that. I used to hear people calling my name, but the biggest, light bulb moment was when I saw my dad. Literally, he was manifested driving his car, coming up to me saying, it's okay, Nick, I'm all right. And I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute. I've just been told he died in a car crash and all my family are at home grieving. This isn't right. And I remember to this day, I'll never forget it. I was walking with my dog and my auntie. I dropped the dog lead and I said to my auntie, Daddy, can you not see him? He's talking to us right now. And so I ran home and I was like, how dare you? How dare you say Daddy's dead? What did he do wrong? Why have you lied? And that's when my dad's dad, my grandfather, Fred, said to me, come with me, love, come with me. And he said, listen, you're going to see very special things. He said, you come from many, many, many years of seventh sons. I was the one that broke the legacy. And he said, and that means that you've got a special gift to see and hear and talk to people that have gone to heaven and see pets that have gone to heaven, and you may see angels and you'll know things are going to happen. And he used to say to me as well, which I've never actually said about, but it's just popped in there because I've put myself right back in that space. He used to say to me, you'll also hear people before you see them. And I didn't really know what he meant, but what he meant is that I would have a voice sum someone up in front of me before I even looked at them or spoke to them. So I could feel and hear exactly what was going in their soul. So if they hated me, I'm like, I know you can't stand me, so don't even try.
That's a tough date.
About it, yeah. Blind dates, forget it. But that was obviously tough as a cop because, I would sit in an interview knowing whether someone's done it or not. And how do you do that for a court of law? Well, my spirit guide said that he's guilty, Your Honour. Do you know what I mean? It was really, really difficult. And because the traits of most psychics, when they grow up completely awake to it, and are surrounded by family that do it. We had tarot cards, tea leaves. We had the full lot. My granddad used to help Scotland Yard with cold case murders, but it was all kept under wraps back in those days. And the biggest problem you have is you don't fit in with people your age. And hopefully people might identify this who watch this show. They'll be like, wow, hey, that sounds kind of right. Because you just don't fit in. You've got such an old soul that sees so much more than the 3D world that, the girls that does my butt look big in this? And, oh my God, do you think he likes me? I was like, I'm really not interested in that. Do you know what I mean? I preferred deep conversations with older adults. So that led me to be, only have a few, reasonably close friends because I just didn't fit in my age and never have, to be honest with you. But it's interesting now, it's switched around that most of my friends are a lot younger than me. So I'm like Yoda and they're all my little Skywalkers.
I love that. That's a good reference point right there. So, there's I plan on tapping into, I'm interested in hearing about your investigation aspect and how that aligns with, murder cases and whatnot. But as we lead into that, just to give people a little dun before we get to the rest of the conversation, what is it? Because you said you see, hear, and you saw your dad. So is there a consistency on how you experience connecting to the other side? Is it mostly visual? What is that like? Is it auditory? What is your full experience?
All different. I come from a very good stock. I've actually been told, my granddad told me that we come from the bloodline of Mary Magdalena, or Mary Magdalene, however you want to call her. So, when she went over to France and then created a bloodline there, we're part of that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And he said, because of it's almost like saying stock or bloodline, I can see, hear, feel, know, every sense that you could possibly imagine. That's how I can communicate, and they choose how to communicate with me. So, I spent 30 years doing readings, and there's some people that literally will just talk to me because that's the energy they know and how to connect. Some will make me feel things or taste things or smell things. There was a man who actually killed himself by ODing on cheese. That's what
What?
killed him. He had an addiction to cheese. And I literally just wanted to puke the whole time because it was, that really stiltony smell up my nose.
Hmm.
Some will fully manifest straight in to the point where the times I could kick myself, when I've seen them standing there and I look away, I look again, I'm like, oh man, that was a spirit person. They don't come in with an axe in their head and like Sixth Sense, they look healthy. Well, they show themselves the very best they ever were, or a particular time of life that they absolutely enjoyed. And with children and babies, if a baby's been perhaps born sleeping or they're too young to identify, they'll show themselves about 3 years old so that I can get their facial features, and they'll go, oh my gosh, that's just like my other son, or wow, that looks just like his daddy. Oh, I'm going all buzzy now. And that they choose, that they are learning on how to manifest their presence all of the time that they're up there. As soon as we transition up there, I know the full journey, I've been shown it countless of times. I've literally got my brother, sister, aunt and uncle left, and that's it. Everybody else has gone, including my partner last year, which we'll go on to later. But they literally learn how to manifest, and you see them grow. So, it's like with my partner, I've watched him grow. So he will come in dreams, and then he'll create a scent of his aftershave. Then he'll start flashing lights. I'm like, well done, you're learning that now, how to, connect with the EMF waves. Well done. Then there'll be a slam, and it'll be, wow, you know how to move things now, and things go missing. And then they turn up in the most random places. My remote control was under the freezer.
What?
Don't ask me how it got there. I'm not an untidy person, So, and then, he actually manifested on one of my videos on my YouTube channel. He actually manifested his voice, and you can hear him say hello. And I didn't even hear it. A follower heard it. So they will use whatever they know that they're good at that stage of them learning to recommunicate back down, because we're a lot more of a heavier energy. And so they have to kind of come down, and we have to kind of go up. This is why I always say to people, the more optimistic you are, the more vibrant you are, the more higher energy, the easier it is for them to come. And the problem with that is when we're grieving, it's like flat. It is flat as anything. And so they try everything they can. So some people think they've forsaken me, they're not here, they've left me, I don't get any signs. Oh, they're there. Trust me, they're there. But we just can't feel it because we're in such a low vibration of pain, guilt, denial, loss, that we just can't get it. And so I've always been mindful, despite how I feel inside about it all, I've always been mindful to try and do meditations. If I can't do that myself, guided meditations, be positive, have the right crystals around me. It's like, I don't go anywhere without this puppy. And I always have, this is rhodonite, and this, I kind of have one on a necklace. This is the best grief stone ever, along with amethyst. So I've learned the tools of how to deal with grief and how to make them more accessible to me, even when I'm in my darkest depths. And that's how it works.
So what is the purpose of, if you know this, why do souls, if you will, why are they continually coming back? And is there a meaning behind that? Is it just to give us guidance?
Absolutely. Would you? think of the person you love the most here now, right? Just say, I always say the most outrageous way of dying, because otherwise I feel like I'm creating this spell. I'm not, obviously. So just say you kind of walked out the studio now and you got run over by a giraffe, right?
Hope not.
You'd want, surely, to go down to whoever you love the most, whether it's kids, wife, mum, dad, whatever. You would want to come down straight away and go, it's okay, I'm here. It really is real. It really does go on. This is just a little step to another dimension. I promise you I'm here. And so it's one of the biggest things they do. They want to create the comfort. They want to show you they're still there. It is the worst catastrophic thing we have to go through is grief and loss, losing our loved ones, people losing children, people losing your partners, the ones that shape our whole lives, suddenly gone. And they know that we still have a need to have them with us. And so they do bring in this synchronicity and signs. And believe me, I'm not doing all the fluffy, it's okay, they're dead. They bring signs, because I don't feel like that. And it's nearly a year now. His anniversary's coming up next month. But what else do you have? What else do you have? I think without my knowledge of where he is and all the rest of my family and my pets, because I lost my 2 dogs and then him all in a year last year. So the house is empty. So what do? Sink or swim? And so I choose to know where he is. I don't even know where he is. I'm going to say it now because it's quite apt. He had an evil ex-family who hated me, hated him moving on. And he didn't make a will. And I kept telling him, darling Darren, he was a procrastinator. And he said to me, the last night of his life, we were on holiday in Spain. And I said to him, I know I keep going on about this, darling, but I'm telling you now, I will get hung, drawn and quartered if you don't sort out your business, your affairs, what your wishes are, because none of them know. He was estranged, for years from them all. So they came in and we basically were in the sea. The following day, he had a heart attack and died in front of me in the sea. And I was trying to resuscitate him, screaming while everybody were getting their phones out. I got him, a snorkeler was there and he helped me get him onto the rock. I knew he was gone because I saw Gabriel's energy. I saw Azrael's energy, like these mists above the sea. They must have thought I was right nutter because I was screaming, don't you dare take him. Make it an NDE, make it a near-death experience. And I was going, F off, F off. Or I say fluff off. And people thought, oh my God, she's really losing it. And I was pounding him, begging him to come back. So it was a near-death experience. I told his mother not to say anything to the old family because I knew what had happened. And literally within a couple of days, they were breaking in and taking all our stuff from our business. They were taking everything they wanted. They hounded me. I couldn't view him. They banned me from viewing him. They wouldn't let me go to the funeral. I have no idea where he is now. I've got absolutely no closure whatsoever. They took him from me, and they could because they claimed next of kin. I could have fought next of kin because I was with him for 6 years, but they are very wealthy. And so I couldn't afford to take them on. And I knew what it would be like. It would be a game to them because they didn't really care. And so I had no closure. What do you do with that if you haven't got spiritual understanding? And I'd lost the love of my life, my 2 dogs, with the other loss I had, which is another story in itself before I met him. And that was a loss of cataclysmic level. Everything was gone. And so, I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to go back up there. I'm done with this. I know you keep saying, as in my guides, I know you keep saying, oh, you're here to show people how to get through stuff. I said, I am done. You've taken my soulmate. You've taken my dogs. You've taken everything from me time and time again. I've had enough. I'm done. And I remember going back to the hotel room and I just had, it'd be like your Tylenol. And I had a whole blister of that blister pack and I just popped it into a sunglass case. And I sat on the balcony looking out to the sea. And I just thought, Nick, just take it. You're done. I just can't take any more pain. I cannot take any more grief. I can't do it anymore. And then I thought about my brother was being flown out. And I just thought, I can't bear him to to have to deal with a double death. And that's the only thing that really stopped me in that moment. And I think a lot of people go through this where they just want to be with them.
Yeah. It's
You know?
it's powerful what you're saying, because it's twofold. What I'm recognizing is, especially in my own personal experience as well, when someone dies, especially with your abilities, if you will, that they're in a quote unquote better place, but we're still left with the human experience and the pain to deal with it. So we're the ones that seem to be worse off. So you experienced that pain and you didn't want to be here anymore. But at the same time, that understanding of suffering by being someone grieving prevented you from taking your own life because of the effect of your death would have on other people still living, if that makes sense. And that's just like the weird storm and lessons that come within this grief and this experience that I just thought was so powerful. And I do want to go back to your understanding of what's happening on the other side and you're experiencing here, and the balancing effect that you still feel the pain. Just because you know it's happening doesn't mean it doesn't minimize your grief experience. When you said where your loved ones are, where are they on the other side? Like, what is going on the other side from your understanding?
They're from a kid, I've been shown it's like a man-made map of heaven, because if we just talk about frequency and consciousness, we're just going to lose everybody. And I said this to them years ago. I'm talking about my guides, angels, and my loved ones in the spirit world. My granddad being a huge, influence on that. My dad's dad and my dad, to be honest. So what they did is they created a map that's in my head, which I most really put in a book just to show people various areas of what they used to call the Crystal Palace to me, to make it not as scary, I suppose, when I was a kid. And then I found out there's millions of people that know about this Crystal Palace that I spoke of. That's why I keep everything organic. I don't read about anything. I just wait for them to bring it. And in here, they showed me kind of like the typical iron gates. And I walked through, so where am I now? And they said, we're going to call this the reality layer. This is your reality after you pass. So just prior to this, you have your review as soon as you go up. You're taken up with Azrael, Archangel Azrael, which is a frequency that I've got photographs of, because I took a photograph of my mum who broke her hip. And then I heard this word, and I shivered. And I thought, oh my God. And I was taking a photo, mucking about, taking a photograph of my sister-in-law, and the photo came out and it was thick white cream mist. And I thought, what the hell is this? And I had this massive sense of doom. Next photo, completely clear. I Googled Azrael afterwards because I'd never heard of it, and it was the Archangel of Death, basically. And I thought, there's no way my mum's going to die. She just broke her hip. She was dead 6 weeks later. And so he brings comfort. Do you know, some people most probably say it's shock. But I don't know about you, but there was like a weird, numb calm. Half of that, I think, is physiological. And the other part is an energy that comes in to just get us through. The stories I've heard from murder victim families and murder victim witnesses of how they do things, you think, how did you stay so calm? How did you do all this? And I feel this is part element of Azrael. So he helps the soul up, he sits with the soul, and many hospice nurses will tell you, they will stare and say, I can see an angel. That's Azrael. He will bring people down and stand around you as you're dying. And you'll be going, hey, Mom, hey, Billy, hey, Steve. And literally, he will bring people down to make the transition easy. Okay, because a lot of people before they pass, and I've seen hundreds pass in my job and obviously personally, and you kind of, sometimes there's a fear or they don't want to let go, but that's the physical bit. And then as soon as they start seeing this, there's an ultimate peace that comes in, and they call it the death stare, but they're actually looking into the portal of where they're going, and I know that happens. I saw my mum's soul go, so did everybody in the room. So they then go up and they're taken to Jeremiah. I'm going to give you the very briefest way of it. Jeremiah, and again, I have to make this clear. I haven't read this. I haven't, researched it. These are all angels and names that have been brought to me from source, from up there. And they say, hey, I'm Jeremiah. And I'm like, never heard of you. And they say, well, I do this. And I'm like, okay. And then I Google it and think, wow, this really does exist. So Jeremiah does your life review. So, many people talk about this in NDEs where they're literally faced with a being. Now, the being is normally someone that you'll feel comforted by. So, for instance, if you want to go along the lines of you're from another planet, it'll be an alien being. If you want Jesus there, it'll be Jesus. You want Allah, Allah will be there. And they give you this review in the essence of Jeremiah's energy. If you are a real baddie, you are taken to what's called a cherubim chamber, and you will be placed in a place where you self-judge, and you have to face, feel, look 1,000 times fold what you've done, and if your soul should remain. So people, like for instance Hitler, people like that, I've seen souls dissipate. It's the only frequency that can dissipate matter. It gets a bit deep, so I'm going to stop.
I've heard that. I've had Mallory, someone else that spoke on the podcast, mentioned something along the lines about souls dissipating, and that caused a lot of controversy about that being a thing. So would this be the place that people on Earth would title it as a hell, even though maybe hell, or you could tell me,
yeah.
It's kind of like isn't necessarily a the way the Bible explains it, but it's a place where we review ourselves and feel it. So it's a temporary hellish experience. Is that what it is?
There's two different types. So, there's three actually. There's one where, just say I don't want to start talking about negative people on the planet and bring it down, but if you've got people that have hurt people or children or animals or whatever, then they will be faced with however long their consciousness feels they have to experience that, so that they no longer create that action back on the earth plane if they incarnate. Right? And it's not pretty. They've shown me it's horrific. Then you've got the ones like, Hitler and genocidal people and people that are just pure evil, that have gone against their soul contract and decided to become monsters, for instance. And I literally saw them in the pool in the cherubim chamber. And then when I Googled all this after I'd seen it, it's in the Old Testament. The old cherubim shall judge. And it's like, oh my goodness. Anyway, so they literally, the white milk ponds that millions of people have reported, which was great. When I saw it and said about it, and everybody else around the world saying, yeah, I've been there, you're like, get in. And I've taken students there for 35 years. I know I don't look old enough, darling. I know. So I taken them there for 35 years. And I said, I went in this really weird pool and there was these cherubim. I'm like, thank you. So it's all kind of backed up. This isn't me just making a pleasant little story so everybody feels fluffy when they die. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I watched, they said, let us show you what happens to someone that has created, heinous acts on the earth plane. And they went into this pool. There was these like tadpole sentient things that gauge the energy and then mirror in the water back what you are. And they literally boiled in this tar, like it turned into black, and they boiled in it. And then you just saw the soul. Do you know, like the Terminator, when he goes down the chain and then goes into I can't remember which one that is, 2, 3, 500.
It's Terminator 2, I believe.
It's Terminator 2, isn't it? Where you kind of cry because he's dying, whereas the other one, you're going, yes!
Yes.
And,
and for an analogy, yeah, we got that locked in.
And literally, they just completely dissipate, and then the water goes all clear. And I'm thinking, this is out there. This can't be right. And then there's people I've spoken about in, this world, if you like, both on alien, mediumship, psychic, and many people have said there is an energy that I've seen or experienced where souls can be dissipated if they are definitely not going to be able to come down and turn around good. Then there's the third option. So I'm doing a reading for this girl that just comes in, everything's lovely and fluffy, sit down, and suddenly her nanny's there, right, her grandma. So I'm like, hey, your grandma's here, this is great. And you think something nice, hot soup, cakes, cookies, and I saw a bloodbath. I'm not going to go into what I saw because I don't want to trigger anybody, but it was horrific. And I said, wow. I said, hang on a minute. So your grandma's brother killed his 2 nephews, your grandma's son. She goes, yeah, my 2 uncles. And I'm like, wow. So I said, where do we stand with that? And then I said, would you mind if you just spend a little time with me? I want to ask your grandma where the brother is, because he's killed her kids. And it was horrific how he did it. And so I sat there, and she says, oh, he's gone into a different area for a while to work out what went wrong. And, you know, a very long story short, he had been exposed to mustard gas in the war. And he was just lost it, basically. And something triggered him where they were on the beach they were on, and he just went absolutely crazy, and then he killed himself. And so he's now in a lower level, not of hell like we see it, burning flames and, you know, the devil and all that old rubbish. He basically is in a place to focus, because it wasn't his fault. He was a victim almost to the action. And so it's to not only help heal his soul, but help for him to realise the actions of it, and to bring peace to himself for what he did to his own family and to himself. So I know it's getting a bit deep, but
yeah, no. So I do want to ask. So just to try to bring some light to this heavy talk right now, is all these places that seem like torment ultimately to correct it?
yeah, there's another place though. As I say, I could go on forever.
Jeez, how many places are there?
As simple as possible. Yeah, because if you think about it, we've got radio waves, TV waves, light waves, sound waves. You know, it's the same with this, what's going on around with the spirit world and everything else. It's nothing special. It literally is there. And if you want to tune into it, it's right there for you. And this is, you know, over the years, it's been made to be spooky, or you're linking up or reaching up or going to some forsaken place. It's all around us. It's that simple.
Right.
You know, all your loved ones are around you everywhere in waves of consciousness. And there's another place which was absolutely horrible. And they said, you will know it in general terms as purgatory. So I said, right, okay. And I said, this is possibly the closest to hell that your humans talk about. I'm like, okay. It was just so bad. It was, I literally was sick after I went there the first time. I've been there twice in my whole adult life, and I've asked them never to take me again.
What do you mean been there? Like, explain that. Like, what do you mean been there? Like, why did you go there? What were you doing?
It was a place where, if you think of, I don't know if you know what death smells like. It's not great. If you think of it like 100 times, 1,000 times worse, the stench, and it's so dark. I've met a couple of dark entities in my life, and so your spine goes heavy. You're freezing. You're shivering. You feel sick to the stomach.
Well, why were you there? Like,
because they were showing me, because they most probably knew that people are always going to ask. So I've got to talk about the light and the dark. Because I said that, darling. Believe me, David, I said that. I went, whoa, what have you brought me here for? This, because you need to know everything, because you will be asked this. You're going to be an ambassador. You need to tell this. So it's just for the energy. It's like dark shadows. It's like menace. I was absolutely petrified, and my granddad always said, never be scared of spirit, but I absolutely hated every second of being in there. And when I came out of the meditation or whatever they put me in, I'd been there an hour, and so it's the biggest pain and loss and grief and hate and anger. And it's just putrid. And when you sit in it, it's like, you know, I can't even explain it. It's like, it's just so if someone's had a row and you walk in and you can sense the energy. It was like walking through pure evil. And so I said, well, what is this place? And they said, as we said, you would know it as purgatory. These are souls that have either refused to go up for fear of judgment, or they've done something so bad they know that something bad's going to happen to them when they go up, or there's all sorts of issues. You know, lots of religious people, if they took themselves over, they don't want to go up there because, you know, they'll be judged by God and all that nonsense. So these are the stuck souls, or the ones that have created such evil that have not gone up to that light. It's a bit like, I know I keep using movies, but it's the best frame of reference. You know, like Ghost. You've got all the nice people go for the white people. You get all the dark shadows, drag Willie Lopez off. And so you can tell I like movies. And so what happens is they sit in that energy, and no matter what because I said, why can't we just take them up? Why can't we save them? I said, they don't want to be. So what they do is they sit in this energy and just reside in their own thought processes, actions, behaviours, and the core of their soul. So they literally fester in their own evil. And this is really interesting, because then they said, after millennia of time, these are what you know as demons. They lose all of their humanity and they become just an existence of vileness, of what they thought of themselves, judge themselves, or what they did. And so he said, and then what they do is they can jump on negative energies. That's how they can get into frequencies. So like, other negative people, they can get in through their negativity. Or people perhaps, mucking about with communication balls that don't know what they're doing if they're drunk or whatever it is. And they can jump in on that. If not, they can't do anything. And I'm like, this is getting a bit deep now. I don't want to be doing this. I'm loving light and fluffiness and trying to help everybody.
Yeah, let's stay with the fluffy, huh? Wait, so okay, so it seems like these are like correction facilities, and maybe I'm completely misinterpreting it, but I get that part for the most part without understanding anything at the same time. What is the transgression for the people that are behaving here? Because you mentioned there was a review that happens. Where's that path?
It's absolutely beautiful. So I always digress off, but I always normally end up saying what people need to hear. I don't know why, but this place, the reality layer, is absolutely sublime. So, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So again, people don't think I'm just making it up and it's all in my imagination. When you walk into the reality layer, after you've left Jeremiah and done your review, and and that's great how it's shown, on social media and movies, you see your life flash before you. And you do, and it's like, yep, you've done this, you've done that. When you want to come back down again with your soul family, let us know, but off you pop and have a nice time. So you create a reality of what you want to do. Wherever you want to be, who you want to be with. You don't have to be with certain people or souls. You literally create your own reality. The times, thousands of times, all over the world, where I've brought spirit people in and said, his name's Derek, he's on his boat. Is this on his yacht? She goes, well, that's great. I nearly divorced him before he died. He was always on his yacht. Do you know what I mean? You create what you want to do. So, first of all, when Darren first started really properly coming through, after I'd got over the trauma and it was hell, and I was obviously drugged up to the eyeballs, and I wouldn't trust anything at that point anyway. I was sedated for quite a long time. And he came through, and I said, where are you? He said, I'm in Arizona. I went, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, I haven't created a house yet. I'll show you that later. He said, but I'm in Arizona. I'm on my bike, because we used to have a motorbike, and we used to like go around on tours and stuff. And I'm like, so I'm going through hell down here, and you have got your sunglasses on, you've got all your leathers on, and you're riding around Arizona. He goes, yeah, I'm just going to go through the desert. I've never been here. I'm like, right, okay, that's really fair. Said no one ever. And then the following day, I had one of my followers who doesn't even know me, doesn't know what I do in my private life, unless I share it, said, it's really weird. I had a dream about Darren last night, and he was on a motorbike in the desert. And then my friend, who's also psychic, phoned me up and goes, I just seen Darren. I went, really? She went, yeah, he was on a motorbike and he was like going to Arizona and he was on his way to like the Grand Canyon. I'm like, what? So what he started to learn to do is wear or create the same environment and then visit multiple people to prove it's really him. So even last week I saw him. We were sitting on the beach together, and he had he's one of his favourite blue checked shirts on, short shirt. And then my friend phoned up and went, oh, I joked to Darren last night. So what was he wearing? Blue checker shirt. I'm like, well done, darling. So you can create whatever you want. He's created for us the perfect home. We've got a boat on the quay because we adored, going out on our boat and going out on the water and all the rest of it. And then my two little babies, Teddy and Mia, ran up. And then my nan comes in. And what I love about it is that I always, and I shouldn't, oh my goodness, I really shouldn't. But I always say, bring me a sign or proof that I'm not just dreaming this. And so the other day, for instance, I said this, and they're like, all right. So my nan showed me some messages in a teacup where she used to do the tea leaf readings. And I didn't even know what they meant. So I had to Google tea leaf reading, what does this image mean? And what she said actually came true that following day. And it was massive what happened. So they'll tell me things about the future. They'll tell me about other people. Someone's going to be ill, or, oh, this is going to happen. Well done. and it all comes to fruition. So I know it's real. It isn't me hoping or imagining. And because I come from that stock, they go out of their way to prove their existence by visiting other people with the same messages, the same clothing, the same outline. I've had times where I've dreamt being on the beach with my mum, and my brother and sister have had exactly the same dream that night. The same beach, we're all wearing the same stuff, you know.
Yeah, so it's just the consistencies that happens to people that obviously helps them believe, but then there's the masses that don't have these experiences that need that court of law, if you will, to believe everything you're saying. But before I get into those questions, what is the point? Like, why are we on the other side to have what you're explaining as human experiences, though? Like, what are we doing over there for all of eternity? I don't understand that.
We're not there for all eternity. The whole point of our evolution is to learn and to go through various safaris, if you like, to enjoy the universe. And get, it's a hard one for me. When I sit down in my human body and my human thoughts, I think I don't really care. They're dead and I've had enough. But when I actually get back into what I know, it brings that calm. We're there. We can stay up. It's generally about 3 generations. They kind of tell me it can be shorter, longer. And after we've been in this peace, and after we've learned what we want to learn down here, there is some reason that we crave human existence, human touch, human connection, human intimacy, human emotion. For some reason, we crave that. So when we go back to source, if you like, after being in this utopic kind of energy, most of my lot have said, well, I got a bit bored. I want to come back down. I want to experience this next. I want to experience that. And so as a soul family, a cluster that you always incarnate down with, but you take different roles each time. So your brother could be your mother, whatever. You then go to your soul guide. Again, I've seen it all over the years. It's not imagination. And they say, right, what do you want to experience this time round? And it's like going to Disney. It's like, wow, I want to experience this next time. And this can happen. We've got like a sick sense of humour because we literally crave harder challenges the older our soul becomes. Right. So young souls are kind of like movie stars. That's why sometimes the lives are really short. I just want that. I want fame. I want money. They want all the 3D stuff. And then you've got the people that go through hell, lose everything, haven't got a penny, just struggling, but they're the happiest they've ever been in their life because they're helping or they're, saving animals, whatever they're doing. And these are the older souls that pick the harder journeys. And they then orchestrate, will you come in my life then? Because then you'll help me get through this. And then, you kind of work out a jigsaw of how you want your life to be. Then your soul guides go on, then off you pop, go back down again. So you all start being born and you all interact within each other's lives to tick off your experiences. So then when you finally go back up again, it's like, okay, did you do your ticky boxes of what you wanted? Yes, I did. And it was a ride. Okay, do you want to rest now? Yes, I do, because it was absolutely crap. And then we stay in this utopic energy. And, without getting too deep again, we can go to all sorts of different frequencies and planes and, different energies, different planets. I don't know. I don't know your audience. I don't know how open they are to this, but you can go anywhere you want.
So what you're explaining, maybe I apologize if I'm cutting you off before you finish your point, but how is that not eternity?
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant go up to heaven and that's it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying for whatever these levels are that you're explaining, these other frequencies, that is eternity, right? Like we just continue on. But yeah, what the heck are we doing?
I thought you just meant remain in reality. The reason, I don't know why, if you look back, if anybody kind of looks back at the old tablets before even Jesus Christ and looks back into our history, you'll see that people lived down here for thousands of years, through these old megalithic structures and tablets they're finding now. And it's like, we only live for like 80 to 100 max if we're healthy. And so we're kind of aiming, without trying to get too deep, we're kind of aiming to try and get a bit more balance down on the earth plane. So and more knowledge and more conscious awareness, so that death isn't as hard when it happens, that people are more awake and aware of what happens, and that we are literally just doing another blip, another blip, another blip, until different consciousness and different experiences. So really, we are millions, thousands of years old. It's that simple. And people can't get that into their head. But I can't deny my whole reason for being. I can't deny what I've been shown since a child. I haven't learned it, I haven't been taught it, it's there. And then it's corroborated by millions of other people around the universe, or around the planet. And so I have no idea. And I do ask this a lot. It's like, well, what's the point of it all? Especially on my down days when I'm missing, the love of my life. I'm like, I really don't give a crap. I just want to be with him. Why does it happen? And it's like, it's just how we are. We literally do live forever, unless we kind of make a real big mistake or do something really bad. We continue just existing and doing our different experiences wherever we want to go.
Yeah, and that's the hard part to comprehend. Again, I don't try to comprehend it because I don't know if I ever will, being on this frequency or being in a human meat sack, because we're understanding it from ego and just being a human. So it's almost incomprehensible for me in my position, not being able to do what you do. But at the same time, when you say, like, what's the point of it all? There's the first question. What's the point of it all being human? Okay, we're here to learn, have experience. What's the point of it all going to that next level? Okay, we still have to continue to transcend, come back, learn more, and go back. Okay, but what's the point of that? And then whatever's after that, what's the point of that? And where does it end? Does it end? And I don't even know if you could answer that, because I feel like there's no way you've been shown everything. So, like, from your positioning, what don't you know? Like, what haven't you been shown? What questions do you have? Yes, like, what questions do you have from what you know now?
I don't know. Trust me, darling. Literally, without going too much into that, the first catastrophic loss I had, I was homeless. I lost everything. I had everything stolen from me. I had a road accident. I was in bed for 5 years. I was in a wheelchair. I was told I'd never walk again. My whole life ended. All I had was my 2 dogs and 2 dustbin bags. That was it. Gone. Everything done. Biggest catastrophic loss of everything I'd ever known. My career, everything gone. 12 years ago, that was. And, these are the questions I asked, because I hated the spirit realm, the angels, and we're eternal. It's all BS. I've had enough. F you. I'm done. So I was there again back then. I went into the deepest depression, and then I had what I can only describe as a spiritual awakening. And I'd already had awakenings, but these were like deep level soul, which I've been discussing with you stuff, right? And I'm like, wow, okay. So I would ask these questions, but it's very much like when you start asking, well, what's the point of it all? It's like, well, it's like doing crosswords and having all the clues. What's the point? If you want to know everything, we can let you know it all, but what's the point? Because you are learning. This is what we want to do. This is what we want to evolve to. We want our theme park rides, go back and have a rest and go back on the next adventure. And we can do that forever. Why? And they just literally say, it's a stupid question. This is what we are. We are evolution. We are ever learning. We are ever creating. And they say, it's not just this planet. We're creating consciousness everywhere, different timelines, different whatever. I'm like, well, I don't want to hear all that. I was just here to prove that dead people are still about. Do you know what I mean? And I was kicking and screaming because I was in such anger. I'd lost everything that I'd worked my arse off for. And, I was just really belligerent. I was like, I don't give a shit what you're telling me. I really don't care. I just don't want to hear it. But then over those 5 years of just me being on my own with my 2 little dogs, being faced with my own existence, it all came to me. And then they said, and by the way, if you want to listen to the doctors and you're going to stay in a wheelchair, stay poo in your pants and stay catatonic, that's up to you. But we can change that. If you decide to get up off your ass and make the effort to connect with us, we will sort this for you. We will give you a home. We will give you wherever you want. We're going to teach you how to create what you want. And this is what we're trying to teach humanity. This is what they're saying, because it's such a rough ride. So I'm like, go on then. So I'm now sitting in a house. The beach is just there. I'm opposite a nature park. This is mortgage free. And I was homeless 12 years ago. And you'll be writing books, you'll be doing this, whatever. You'll be going to America. I don't think so. And then the next awakening was America in 2023. I was over there doing a fantastic conference, and that was the next awakening, which brought me to this other stuff. And I'm like, oh no, I don't want to know about this. The alien stuff, the galactic stuff. And all it is, it's not like 33 Bridge Street, like an address, a human address. It's just another level of consciousness where other people walk around another planet and people have got to get over it because it's true. You know, because I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. And then you see the alien, that like the UFOs flying over, and I'm like, when they said they were going to arrive, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Because believe me, right, as being a cop, I am not someone that thinks everything is spiritual and lovely and fluffy, right? I need evidence, and they know that. So if they bring something to me that is so ridiculous, I'm like, I don't think so. And they have to prove it. They have to show me synchronicity signs or something. They'll say, well, go on then, do that. I had a massive word with them last night because I had a really bad night last night. I'm still seeing a counsellor. I'm still seeing a hypnotherapist to get over the horror of trying to keep my loved one alive, who I don't even know where he is. And it's still there. It's still there. And I'm acknowledging that. But the difference is, as I said right at the beginning, I've got the tools now to know how to make it easier. You'll never get over grief.
The tools is the key word there. It's always tools. It's not answers. It's not necessarily cures. It's just we build these tools.
Exactly. It's like having a headache. Just say if you've got headaches for your whole life, sometimes you can't get rid of them. So you kind of have to take paracetamol. You kind of have to have like a wet towel on your head, or you have to avoid the sun. You learn to navigate grief. You learn to navigate everything that happens on this planet. And if spiritual aspects of it can help, why not give it a go? And that's what I did. When I'm laying in bed, can you imagine 5 years on my own, in bed, homeless, just jumping on people's sofas with this catastrophic brain trauma injury, and then them saying, we can help you. And I'm like, go on then, do your best. And they did.
Oof. So, what you said interested me, instead of like you're asking for evidence in certain situations. So where does that come into play with the skeptics out there? Because I have a lot of them that comment and post on some of the stuff that I put out there. And so the way I've seen it, it's the evidence isn't evidence necessarily like in the court of law, as you mentioned earlier, where it's like, put on the glove, does it fit or does it not? It seems more experiential through synchronicities and signs, that the only way you'd find evidence personally is by experiencing, as opposed to something tangible on this earth, like fingerprints, yada, yada. So for people that aren't on board with this stuff and just thinks it's rubbish or yada, or all that stuff, is that the only way for people to get evidence, is to experience it?
The problem is with skeptical people, I call them sheeple. They're the ones that will follow what, the government say, and they go, oh, take this, do that. Oh, now you're in debt. Your country's in debt. Is it? Oh, we're in debt, love. We're in debt. We haven't got any money. Mm-hmm. Really? Yeah, because the government told us and the TV told us. Oh, okay. Oh, we haven't got this now. Like, whoa. Okay.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So I don't care about skeptics, because if they choose to live that life where they're the ones that sit with a Tylenol when someone's passed and don't know how to cope, that's absolutely fine. I have got nothing to prove to them, and proof is never enough for them.
Of course, I've seen that too.
So I don't care about them. And what I do care is my goodness, how are they getting through life thinking that's it, or we're all a load of nutty hippies? And if you look through, even from my videos from years ago, we talk about things that have come to pass in our world. And like, oh yeah, right, tree hugger, she knows what she's talking about. And then it happens, and they're like, whoa, hang on a minute, she spoke about this is going to happen. And I'm not going to get into what I'm talking about, because otherwise you'll get shadow bans. But do you know what I mean? So it's
been there already.
Until you're told officially by scientists, they said, oh, we can't, there isn't a heartbeat in the planet. It's absolute rubbish. But now the scientists have found the Schumann resonance. Oh, it does exist now, but the tree huggers were all wrong. But now they're pushed away. Pagans and spiritualists and people that are trying to show you the real way forward have been pushed in the corner since year dot. Everything's been changed. The pagan gods, Pan was changed into the devil. The cross was changed and nicked by the Romans from us, and that was now the cross of Jesus. It just goes on and on and on. And this is going to be my next seminar, actually, when I go to North Carolina, to show everybody that we're pushed under the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty is, though, is that now I love it now, because my team say to me, look what they said about you. They said you're nutty, you need to be in a mental home. Great. We're now reaching the skeptics and the people that are being challenged. Yes. So what I say to the skeptics is, that's fine. I really don't care what you think of me, but I think it's rather shallow and rather a mistake to not go, I'll have a look at that and be curious, as opposed to absolute rubbish. Because this is how, I'm not joking you, the spike of people that've come to me and said, I'm not going to lie, Nikki, I thought you were talking a load of crap. But oh my God, I just thought I'm going to give it a go. I'm just going to send a thought up. I'm just going to meditate. And then, my dad's wallet moved, or the other day it was my dad's chess piece moved. And it was always, he would move that when he came round, and it just moved. And I went mental at my wife and said, why did you move my chess piece? Why did you do that? And she went, I haven't even been here, remember? We went, wow.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you on that, because I think it's not so much proving it as like a game of sport. It's to me, it's always just, again, if people want to believe what they want to believe, cool. I'm not here to fight you for it. I'll have a conversation. I'm happy to talk about it, and we just agree to disagree. Cool, that's great too. But I think what I'm pulling from what you said and how I align with that, it's just I just think people should just not necessarily shut either door. It's just kind of like,
yes,
maybe, okay, I don't know, maybe. Like, this world to me is just so wildly weird in so many spiritual, scientific, and any way you want to explain it, that I'm just like, maybe. And I think once you like at least say maybe, or we'll see, or let's give it a go, and just be open to it, maybe something will happen, and maybe something won't. I don't know. That's we're all on our journey. So like, whatever people want to believe, it's just some people, we could go in both directions no matter what we're talking about. Of course, it's both. There's spectrums to every side, but at the same time, it's, people need certainty, and they need to know. And if it's too black and white, if it's not black and white, then it's hard to understand. So people will dismiss certain things without even just being open to it, because of what we've been told for so long as this being so this other thing what we're talking about must be impossible. I don't believe it. That's bullshit. Okay, then that's fine too. It's just more like conversationally about opening people's minds to the possibility. And I think the first step is just being willing to be open. And then the next step to be proven it, not from a sporting sense of just like, I was right, you were wrong. It seems to be more experiential. Like, it seems to be maybe having these spiritual experiences to believe it, as opposed to, again, seeing it on a confirmed document as this is so. Because again, like you said, people could see a document and still not believe it. So it starts at being open, but then the next step seems to be experiential. Like, all the people that I've talked to have had mediums, this, that, and the other, that do believe in it. Most of the time, they've had experiences that felt real for them. It's never like, oh, I've had an experience, let me show you it. You can't show the experience because it's personal to you. And that's what makes it so challenging to some, to the skeptics and the people that believe it. It's like some person had an experience and some people didn't. And then even the skeptics might have an experience, and then their logical brain will dismiss it based on XYZ. So it's like, it's not a race. That's all I'm saying. It was just more of a question to see how people that are skeptic may be more open-minded to it. And again, if they're not open-minded to it, cool, whatever. It doesn't affect me. It's your life. It just seems for the most part to be positive. Outside of the Terminator 2 hellish descriptions, mostly seem positive. But it's interesting for me from my perspective. I think I'm so open-minded to it. Like, I say it and I really believe it. Then sometimes I catch myself, having that logical side, that logical brain questioning things. And I just like to question things, not from a challenging standpoint. Because even today, a girl that's been on the podcast, and I had an experience with her. She's a medium, and she had a timely reach out years ago about an experience that I had when my mom was nearly dying, and she happened to reach out, and not forcefully. She just gave me a message, but she was polite about it. Like, she said hi first, and then I told her something that gave her almost the authorization to give me more information. And it was like, it was too timely and felt too real for me to deny the message. And then today I was getting coffee, and I've been like on a weird place lately. I don't know, maybe just questioning things and just having not doubts, but just questioning things about what I'm doing with my life, yada, yada, even though I'm very happy. Like, it blip, and I talk myself out of it because that's where my mind's at. I stay more positive. But nevertheless, she sent me a random message. I haven't talked to her in forever, and she kind of gave me a little note from what she said, my dad was quote unquote bothering her. When she says bothering, she doesn't mean literally bothering, just words.
Yeah, I know.
Which like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So she like said it like that, and she gave me a message that I needed. And of course, it was very general, but for me personally, through my experience, it was as if a message that I needed to hear. And that's the juggling part, where it's like you could have people that try to dismiss and say, oh, that was such a general message. Like that's a very vague adjective. Like, yes, I get that because it is. But at the same time, the timing and the specific way it was delivered and what the message was to me personally in my experience was a perfect fit. And it's like I needed to hear that.
Exactly. You can't win, because I've literally said to people, right, his name, he lived at this address, and this is when I've been like, pumping on gas. He lived at this address. He was a taxi driver. He said this to you just before he passed. You saw this yesterday, la la la. And then they go, well, it's not hard Googling me, is it? And I'm like, I don't even know your name. You're in a theatre, and I've done this because I won't have it. You're in a theatre of 1,000 people, mate. Do you think I'm going to find time to Google every single one of you and remember who you are? So I don't even know what your name is. Your dad just told me. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing you can do about it. But all I know is that I don't think I'll be sitting here now after what I've been through and still going through, because that is just a tip of the iceberg that happened last year, right, with how I was treated. And literally, I've travelled the world. I've achieved so much in this time because I know he's with me, driving me forwards. And, if I want to live that way, and if people want to listen and think, do you know what, I might have a bit of that, great. But if the people, and you've got to look at the energy of these people, would you ever put on, to anybody's point of view, you're a load of crap, you're this. I've had hope you burn in hell, bitch, and I've had all this crap, like real hateful stuff. And then you've got to look at the energy that comes from and think, wow, I wouldn't want to live in your energy, because if that's what you do, sit there, keyboard warring, sending your hate out, wow, you must have a really sad life. And I just feel really sorry for the people that do that. Whereas, of course, I get, the inquisitive people. I'm not really sure. That's absolutely fine. All I say is, the amount of phenomena that happens on my camera, on my YouTube channel, I'm surprised nothing's happened here. There's so much that happens on camera, and you can't deny it. It's there. And photographs, all sorts of things. And, I just say, have a look. If it's not for you, try a different door. I'm here to just try and show you how I cope through hell down here. And if you're interested, that's it. And if you're not, that's fine. Because I think I most probably would have taken myself over. And I don't want this to be disrespectful to anybody who's gone through this awful experience. I have. My brother-in-law did it. But I just, without what I know, I would be either in like a secure mental home, I think, with everything I've gone through, or I wouldn't be here. So that's my statement of my knowledge of what I'm here for, where he is, where all my family are. That's how I'm still here, still standing. And that's why I'm here helping thousands of people every day through their hell, their own version of their own hell down here.
Yeah. And so what does that come in for like the other people, like the thousands of other people that, have, and it's never the same experience because we all have our own experiences, but at the same time are at a place where they feel like they can't keep going, but don't have they aren't able to do what they're able to do. So they don't have that ability to see through the veil, to have a little bit of comfort to get through that experience. That's just everyone's individual journey. Like how come some people are able to be awake like you are, and then some people aren't?
Because we're here to wake the people that aren't. And that's
just part of it. So everyone we all have a role. We have a role.
You all have it. We are all spirit beings on a human experience in a meat suit, right? I don't know why I picked this meat suit because it's rubbish. It's so rubbish. I don't know why I had a road accident, but anyway. So sometimes I'm in such extreme exhaustion and pain, but it's like, that's okay. I'll box set it today. I'll grab this, I'll do this, and I've changed my perspective around it. So the people that are born awake are here to guide, like all the other ascended masters and all the other people that awake throughout the whole of history, to be the messenger, to give you a lending hand while you're down here. If you want to say, screw you, it's rubbish, that's fine. I really don't care. You crack on. But if there's people that I can reach to say, you can do it as well. So, for instance, guided meditation, right? I'd give anything to see my mum. I'd give anything to see my dad. And I go, no problem. I've done, and I did. So what I did was I created a guided meditation, and they gave me the right binaural waves. They gave me the right sound frequency. I've put it here. Press play. Let me do the work. Go up and see your mum. So they're like, oh, do you think it'll work? I said, I know it will. It's you that decides whether it works or not. You're the one that will block it or not. So they press play and they come back and go, oh my gosh, I can't. I've just been with my mum. She told me something and it happened the following day. And she brought my dog through, and my grandpa came, and my uncle came, and my son came. And it's like, it's like, why are you so surprised? Because it's other humans that have told you can't do it. Religion's told you can't do it. Society's told you can't do it. They're hammering down the most powerful thing that resonates on this planet. And that's the fact that we can connect to everything. And if we do that, and we have that knowledge, we're not going to listen to the humans making our rules, and they can't.
Yes, that's it right there. That's that's a whole other podcast for us. But that's the whole thing. It's like, I think the grand scheme, which will lower the frequency, so we're a little bit more susceptible to control and all that stuff. But that's a whole other rabbit hole, and you and me could talk to next time I fly across the pond. So I want to ask you. I know a lot. I'm friends with some mediums and this and that, and so I have a little bit of a grasp, but it's still far from understanding. But it doesn't seem like it's like a instantaneous tap in. Like, is there some timing to it? Like, if I asked you right now about like my father, like, is that something that would like you could tap into right now, or is that a timing thing? If he's willing, like, it's not 100%. It's not 100%, right?
No, it's not 100%. If I knew that I would do that, I would have prepared a bit. And that's not a get out. It's that I'm in grief as well, so I haven't been doing readings at all since Darren passed. But I can give it a go if you'll just give me a bit of. I'm going to stare like a weirdo now and possibly look away.
You have beautiful eyes. It's okay. We'll stare away.
Any psychic that looks at you, studies you, and asks questions, open questions, get up and walk out, because they're a load of shite. The people, hi, I've got someone coming in actually, thank God. It's mostly not even your dad. But I can't. And the other thing is, you can't order. You can't say, I want this to come through. You say, I'm open. If anybody wants to come through to speak with David, that's cool. Okay. And then that's what happens. So I'm a bit on the spot. So let's see what happens. I'm going to just look at your face just for 2 seconds. The only questions that most mediums will ask is, can you understand something that's already been stated? Yes or no, or who's whoever, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest, the sense I get with you is, I don't know if you've experienced so many losses in your life that you think you're not long for this world, but there's this inherent fear in you that you're going to go young. That's the first thing I feel with your energy. I don't know if it's a subconscious thing, but it feels like everything's been really quick. You've had to go through stuff really quick, and you're like, hello, all right, I'm going to talk to you in a minute. I'm just introducing this bit. So you're not going young. Okay, I don't feel that's in your bones. I feel like you are sitting here doing this now because you have got a lot more to do. And I don't know if that fear is inherent in you, that you're going to go, God, I'm going to go young, but it's not going to happen. I just need to say that first of all. The man I'm seeing coming through, I've got quite a handsome guy actually, and I've got a side parting going across, and his hair to me, everybody can go grey or whatever, but his kind of hair feels like it's swooping around. It's quite smart, darker than blonde. It's definitely darker. And I've got a cheeriness in my face, glint in my eye that tells me I've got a bit of humour. Did your dad pass when you were quite young? Has he been gone quite a while?
Yes.
Because this doesn't feel like you've grown up with him. Do you understand? It feels like he's a memory like my dad's. Right, so I could get his description wrong because I'm kind of describing my dad. I was only 9, and this feels like this has happened for you as well. And then with your mum's past as well. I'm sure you told me that, didn't you?
My mom, no, she's alive.
I feel like, and what's the problem with the head area? Who had the problem with? I don't know if this is a bleed or it went, or there's a cancer that went up to the brain, but there seems to be lack of communication before they pass over. So you couldn't, you're thinking, oh my God, did you know what I said? Did you know what I said? There's an M as well, massive M initial, which I'll try and work on in a minute because I didn't realise I was doing this. So I'm kind of working at 10%. I do apologise. Now,
Don't apologize for anything. You're okay.
Okay, darling. So this man, the M is significant. Christ, I don't know if we're going Mike.
I mean, there's a chance this wasn't planned either, so I might be flipping too.
No, hang on a minute. Or is it female? Don't know yet. Let me send it back. Right, you can edit this so that you can put it in framework, so I don't rush it. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
This is why I feel that you're a lot younger, because he feels like hero status to me. Like everything would have been better if he was still here. I would have had my best friend. Nobody got me. I don't know if you got loads of females around you when you grew up, but it just feels like I needed my dad's energy. And there's a catalyst that takes place there. So it's like when he passed, everything broke for a long time after. It wasn't all happy families. It kind of created a catalyst of you feeling completely on your own, even though you had family members around you. I'm not taking this from your mum. I'm not saying she was a crap mum, but it was like a whole part of your soul was taken and made you feel really weak, vulnerable, lonely. I don't know if you had I don't know if you were bullied or you kind of were a bit of a loner or you kind of felt that you had to kind of drag yourself through life, but you've always had this sense of trying to fight for yourself. Keep coming with me because I need you to talk to me in a minute. Mm-hmm. Fight for yourself, and it's like you find it really hard to rely on other people. One, because trust has been broken, you've had betrayal, but also because you're like, well, if I don't keep it together, who else is going to do it for me? Because that dad energy wasn't there with you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. There's B as well. I don't know if this is Brian, Barb, B. It's because I'm not working. I can't get the names. They normally come straight in with surnames.
Yeah.
But again, because I'm in grief, it's hard to reach up. Where's the B? Bob, Bill, Shulp. But I feel, sorry, darling, this may be someone that's up there with him, as opposed to an alive name. So I don't know if this is kind of like his dad or.
Yeah, no. I was thinking his dad, but that wouldn't work for his father.
I know that he's in that generation. I don't want to stop going back and digging up blinking loads of old generations, but I feel like that he's a very big favourite of his, but I can't see him yet. Keep coming. Your dad feels like a nice stature as well. I don't want a big fat guy. I want him slim. Do you know what I mean? But not skinny. Oh God, that makes it sound like I'm bloody generalising now. I'm putting too much pressure on myself. But I just feel with him that I've got quite a fit man, and that suddenly he wasn't, or it was just, I just keep feeling this really quick sense. I keep seeing my dad. So I don't know if he went really quickly, but it just feels to me like, did he have anything to do with flying or military or airplanes or anything like that?
It's part of the story.
Okay, yeah. Because I keep feeling that I've got some form of, I'm just going to open the door because I'm sweating now, I'm working. I've just got this form of, because you're feeling the energy, that's why, unless it's really hot there. But I just literally drip sweat when I do this. But it keeps showing me this sense of flying or airplane, or something to do with that. And it seems significant. I don't know if I keep seeing 713. So I don't know if this is to do with the date or time he passed, or there's something to do with that number. But that keeps coming up for some reason. And I want you to, if you don't remember it, write it down when you watch this again and find out what that means to me. Or it could just be July 13th, or like 13th of July, which is our way of doing it today. Sorry, darling?
No, I was just taking notes, like you said, 713.
Sometimes even you might see 713 or 713, and it's just another backup for this, okay?
Yeah, of course.
I just feel like you were pulled away from honouring his passing. I don't know if that's because of your age or you weren't with him, or it's something that took place where you weren't there. I'm not feeling fluffy, everybody around and everything's practiced, it's all calm. It feels chaotic.
Yeah, it was chaotic.
Has this got anything to do with 9/11?
Yes.
Okay, because he's saying, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. So I say, why? Just because I'm doing dates, and who knows the biggest date in the US? I'm like, oh, it's very sarcastic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
duh. So, darling, I'm so sorry that. Oh my God, how do you get through that? I'm really
Yeah.
sorry. That was.
No,
Oh man,
it's a pretty big day.
I'm really, really sorry.
You don't have to say sorry. You're okay.
And
I
it's
appreciate you even giving this a go.
no, that's okay. You're welcome. I don't know if he was part of helping, or I don't know if he was this hero thing coming up. I don't know what he did, but it just feels like this. Wow, you know, his name and his memories. Like, wow, you really did good for whatever you did. I don't know if he was trying to save people or whatever happened, but there's something about. And there's Richard.
Yeah, I mean, maybe someone at his desk, but it's funny you say that.
Who's
So I mean,
with him? It'd be
Richard.
interesting to see what the names were of him, where he was sitting. Okay, and I will promise you, I have not watched one of your videos. I have not. I don't know anything, but I don't know if you've ever spoke about this publicly. I do not know. All right, so take it or leave it, believe it or not.
Of course.
I'm standing in my honesty and swearing on everything I know and love. Okay. Were you like me with Darren? Did you not find him? Have you not had his? I hate saying.
You can
I
say
call
it. It's
it
okay.
leftover.
Say that last part. You broke up.
Sorry, I know this sounds awful. I hate saying remains, but did you not find his leftovers?
Yeah, you don't have to hold back on me. I promise.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think we got notified sometime down the line. I forget. I don't remember when I found out, but I was told maybe when I was older. My family told me. But yeah, they found remains. Technically, I don't know what it was, but we didn't have him with us essentially.
And this is what I'm trying to say, is that people hold on to the last physical part of someone that's passed. And if you haven't got that, you can lose your shit. Excuse my French, right? If you haven't got, it's not. I remember I used to look after people whose kids have been murdered, and they never knew where they were. And my God, did I try and find them psychically, right? And they couldn't get their closure because their baby was out there somewhere, even though it was just like skull and bones. So that's why I try and show people to embrace where they are now,
Right.
and not where they may be, because I don't feel the whole of your dad was returned to you. And I don't feel your mum ever recovered from that. And I don't feel your family have ever recovered from it. And every time the anniversaries come up, it's like it's all brought back to you again and again and again. Okay. And the shock, you still hold some of the shock from, hang on a minute, from this, even now, it's still held in your body. Sometimes there's a bolt of Jesus, is that how it went? Okay. And I feel also that, all right, it's still telling me, did he have a really good sense of humour, a really dry sense of humour? Because
He's
he's
a
still
funny guy.
going, I can't believe he didn't get the date thing. I'm like, well, why didn't you give me the right date? So I'm talking to you, I'm getting this, excuse me, rude. You're being rude, okay? There's definitely Richard there somewhere in the lines.
Well,
He really.
I don't mean to interrupt, but it's funny. The message that I said someone sent me today. She said it like not in a mean way. She's like, "I love his energy, but he's very, but man, is he bossy?" That's the vibe she was giving. It's kind of what I'm getting with you when you said rude. It's just
That's what I
funny you
mean.
said that.
He's very good at what he did, though. I'll say that, and I will say to you, no holds barred, that this was literally wipeout. There was no, but I know that there was a rumble. So I don't know if this is the first plane and he was still alive, and then the second one. But it feels like he was doing something, thinking about others. That's what I feel, right? And that's exactly what you do, son. You have always tried to put others first, so you don't realise, and you don't understand why people have done what they've done to you when all you've wanted to do is help. You've always wanted to help. You've always wanted to be the best you can, but you've also tried to be a survivor. So you've also been, and he sees it. Okay, just tell me quickly a bit. Don't worry about all the rest of it. Just tell me about little bits. No, it's a bit rude you're not telling me your name.
Oh,
But
yeah, David. That's all good.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't tell me.
Oh, I decided. I thought you said it's rude to ask you for your name.
No, darling. What it is my granddad used to talk to spirit people like this. He used to have to touch people to see if they're real or not. That's how amazing my granddad was, right? And so my nan used to go, "Oh, you're talking to a dead one again, Fred. Stop doing that." And he'd be, "Oh, sorry, doll." And so I said, "Granddad, when I talk to dead people, I'm not going to have a conversation like you because I'll look mad." And here I am doing it, darling. I can't be asked doing it all in my head. So
I thought you were asking my name. I thought you were asking my name. That's why I told you my name.
no, sorry, I know your name, darling.
Okay.
I was talking to him. Sorry, go on. He's got a lovely laugh. I really love his face. I think he's a handsome man. I think he's making himself look a bit more special than he was. But
Yeah, I wish I could do that.
to me, he's in blue. So I don't know if he was in like a grey blue suit when he was gone, but I keep seeing grey blue, or there's a relevant colour around him for that. I also know that he's acknowledging April was a month for somebody. Do you know July? We're in July, aren't we? Is everyone's birthday coming up, or is there some connection to him coming up in July?
There is a birthday.
Is it close around you?
Because like around my birthday.
Have you? Sorry, darling.
What was your question? Sorry.
Is there a birthday literally coming up in the next week or so?
There is a birthday in the family. Yeah.
Where are the two girls? Have you got two girls?
Two sisters.
The two sisters, my two girls. I don't know if one of those has got the birthday as well, or he's acknowledging
There's a
good luck with one, not with the other. I don't know if not being rude. Oh my God, this is going out in public, but you can edit this if you want. But there's one that's kind of close, the other that's just forget it. That's what I feel like, and that's never going to change. Okay, I'm not going to chuck loads of names, darling, because it could be anywhere. So please just give me the information. Bless you. Thank you. Yeah, I will do that. So it's like nothing ever changes with the girls. And you know what I mean by that, okay? This is what I meant by you growing up with the girls as well. One's hard work and the other's like a lot easier. But it's taught you to be the man that I always wanted to be. And I'm really proud of that. I'm really sorry that I wasn't there. And this is kind of like he's showing me typical things like football games and, my dad showed me how to fix this. And my dad showed me how to do that. You were robbed of that. And that's the one thing that he knows is something that's kind of stuck in your energy. Do you know what I mean? West side, West Road, West. Why did you? This is an address or a place? West Side, West Road, West Lake, West something.
West Side, you said?
Where's West Side? What is West Side?
I don't know, maybe the Parkway, Manhattan or something, or Brooklyn.
I don't know. It will be relevant for some reason, unless it's a memory or it's something to do with that. He never thought you'd be doing what you're doing now, us sitting here doing this. He always thought that you wouldn't want to be in the limelight and show yourself in front of other people after how you grew up. I don't know if you were kind of shy or you were, but he's so proud of what you've done. And I tell you something for nothing. This is going to do nothing but grow and grow and grow. You've created an empire of knowledge, and it's also a material empire. And how he shows himself is he's got fresh cold spots that you walk through and you'll be, wow, not nasty cold spots, just a breeze. He works on breeze energy. He loves electricity. He was very clever. He's very analytical. His mind was like, well, how does that work? It works like that. Well, no, how does it work? And so I feel like electricity, things turning on, turning off, lights flickering, electricity. He's managed to manipulate this very easily over the years. Dream state, brilliant at entering people's dreams, but then there's one in your family that won't have any of this. He obviously met Mum. Mum must have passed after him because it feels like he was there going, yay, you're here. And I don't know if you still have a teddy bear or a cuddly thing that you still kept from those days, but he's acknowledging, don't ever be ashamed to say how much it still hurts. And he's seen you do that and said, I'm proud of you when you've done it, but never hold it back. Okay. Are you engaged to somebody, or have you kind of moved in or kind of created a more commitment with a relationship?
No, not right now.
Are you single, David?
Yeah, y'all heard that? Everyone hear that?
I'm flying over, Dave. Bit of older woman. Darling, I hate saying this because, oh, you're me to tall, dark, handsome stranger. Right, but I take it you're into girls first before I muck this up because I don't feel
Yeah, no, it's a good start. Nothing either way is cool, but I'm good with the woman right now.
Good. You're with a woman at the moment.
No, I'm saying I orient towards women. Yes.
No, you have to be careful, don't you? Because what I fancy, sometimes I can misconstrue it and then talk to a gay person. They're like, no, I actually like men or whatever. It doesn't happen a lot, but so I feel like you would like someone bit mixed of your mum and your dad. So I want someone that's kind of got the brains, not stupid, very girl next door, loves nature, very kind, stand her ground, not a walkover, and be someone that's a really good communicator with you. So if we look deep into your energy, hang on a minute, I'm going to say it, wait. If you look into your energy, yeah, okay, that's who you want, right? So, most people look at the shallow looks, how much money they've got, have they got this? That's what you're looking for. The girl next door with the strength, the courage, she can handle you and communicate with you. She can be honest. She's got your back, because that's desperately what you want in your life, darling. You want someone to have your back and understand you, because this pain still sits. And well done you for setting this up, because everybody avoids it. Now, I don't know if you're going to meet her through something like this. Malcolm, Mehmet, that M's back again. It's not automatic, right? What is that? What is that?
M.
But he's Taylor, surname is Taylor. So I don't know if this is to do with her. Let's have a look. Unless her name's Emma. Emily.
I mean,
who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep what I was gonna say in my back pocket, but I'm gonna
give me another.
Wait, what'd you say about the shoe tailor?
Just Taylor. He's saying Taylor, so I don't know if there was someone that was a Taylor or it's a surname, second name, family name.
I mean, shoot. You said something about a shoe tailor. My dad's dad. I did something with shoes. I don't know what it was. I don't think I made that up.
Dad then, because that's come up twice now. So he's definitely stands in energy with his dad, your grandpa. I don't know if you knew him very well either, to be honest. But these two come as a done deal. Okay, is that the shoe tailor? Yeah, it wasn't just that. He was kind of doing all sort of tanning and all sorts of things. That was just a little part of it, he's saying. So that's definitely grandpa coming in with dad. Go, 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 go. Yeah, he loves the water feature, the pond or the water that's in memorial of him. I'm not talking about ground zero. This is a personal thing that's been done, a memorial or a space where we can talk to dad. Okay? So someone has created or set that up. Good. Loves fish. I don't know if it's you or him. Fishing, fish. Know what that's about, but he keeps saying fish in ponds, tanks, whatever. I love fishing or fish. There's something to do with fish. Go. Thank you, darling. Yeah, well, I've got that. I've told him. Yeah, so I'm excited to be able to. The other week, I was talking with Darren and he was with my dad. They love each other. In fact, the traits of him and my dad was remarkable, even down to a crushed finger, exactly the same finger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were going through, going, nope, swipe, swipe, swipe. But I'm like, oh, no, that's not going to happen. He goes, I'm going to send you something. I said, no, you're not. No, you are not. Don't even go there and even enter into that, And he said, look, I'm going to send you someone that you need. It's not yet. And I said, I don't want anybody at the moment. You know what it's like with a partner. It's like, some people do. Some people meet someone in 2 weeks. Some people, a lifetime.
I'm still waiting, but we're here.
I'm bringing you someone. He goes, you'll know. And I went, no, I won't. Darren, don't even go there, right? So this is almost the energy I'm getting with your dad, is that he's bringing this. You need this now. You're ready for it. If I go back a couple of years, you wouldn't have been able to maintain a good relationship because you're still working yourself out. you know, or
Mm-hmm.
you were kind of attracting the wrong sort of girl. And so this time around it's coming. Because
I'm
you
ready.
kind of feel like, do you know what I mean? You weren't in the right space and you're attracting the wrong girls, or it just wasn't deep and meaningful. You can
Yeah, I
kind of
never know. I never know if I'm in the right space, but I think right now I feel I've
no,
been
you
saying
will.
I've been saying I'm in the right space. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. Excuse my
No,
French.
listen, you will. So now, right, you give out the energy of, I'm ready for you. Thank you, Dad, for telling me, right? Own it. Own it. It's not going to hurt, is it? Thank you, Dad, for telling me she's coming. She's kind of like blonde, typical. She's not, oh, look at my Jimmy shoes. You know, she's, or shoes, whatever you call them. I don't know. She's not that. She's the apple beautiful girl next door that has got that most natural beauty with none of the other crap going on. Oh my God, she's so nice. And I'm telling you, she's coming. I wonder if the A is Angela, Anna, Amy. That could be where this MM keeps coming. Just keep the A in mind. Potentially, we could be looking this August, or, oh God, I hope it's not next August. But I know
Yeah,
by next
make it
August.
sooner, Dad. What the fuck?
No, listen, I know, tell me about it. But I'm telling you now, by next August, you will be well into this relationship. Right? So you be ready. Thanks, Dad. I'm really excited to see you now. I feel I'm ready. You weren't ready before. You weren't ready to make the commitments. You weren't ready to, you know, see the young apple girl next door. You were kind of not in the right space. And you've gone from you've spiked and dipped. He's watched you go up and down with your being a bit of an arsehole. Sorry, not
That's
my
fair.
words.
That's fair.
To being a bit cruel, being a bit shitty, and then suddenly we've got you thinking, actually, I'm tired of this. I need to do something good with my life. And this is what you've done. It's not just this, it's all aspects of your life, okay? And even where you live, I don't know if there's lots of trees there or it's quite leafy, but it's kind of like I've got movement there as well. So I wonder if you'll end up moving in with this girl, or your life experience will change where you're moving. But everything is slowly on the up because you've changed your attitude to life. You've changed your persona. You've changed the bits that you were angry about. And he totally gets that. And you have to know that those tats. Did you just hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know. Have you heard any noises here? I'm completely alone here, as I've said throughout the whole interview.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Saw I heard something.
That's what I'm talking about. There's nothing in here. There's nothing going on. There's no lights on. There's nothing. And as soon as I did that tap, it went, right? And so this is him creating electricity in the ether, or he will tap. It's easy to manipulate energy. We used to be able to do it until everybody told us we couldn't, like the Romans and stuff. And it's literally tap. This will be him. You'll think, oh, it's a bird, it's this, it's that. Open your energy, son. You can have more of a conversation with your dad than you could ever dream of.
That's what I'm saying. It's that the willingness just to be open. So the willingness just to be open. And sometimes I feel like I have this like weird blockage with me, like in certain things that I do. But I say I'm open. I want to be, but then there's like something deep inside that needs to be like chipped away. I don't know, in like everything that I want to do, if that makes sense. And this is like part of it.
Literally. Can I just say as well, so that one of the ladies that met him, she had brunette kind of curly hair. I don't know if there's an Italian thing going on in your family, or they're kind of like more tan skinned, or there's some like Mediterranean look. But this lady was quite shapely, and I don't know if this is his mama or someone that he adored, but she was waiting for him. It literally was a blight. And then he was up and he was like, oh shit, something's not right. Because he was looking in this woman's eyes. That's all he knew of his passing, I assure you. Okay? There was no struggling. There was no, fear. There was no scrambling around, hanging on. It literally was that quick.
I sure hope so.
Okay? That's all he remembers. That's all he knows. And it becomes a distant memory when we pass. They just like say it because it's the biggest thing that hits us. But them, it's the last thing they care about. I still think he was bigger than he's shown me in his imagery. I think he's shown himself quite handsome. And also, you will get shadows or movements out the corner of your eye. That is him.
I do get that.
That's him. Okay.
But then I'm like, there's the fan, like the light. I don't know. I justify it.
Don't look at it. So this is another tip. Okay, this is another tip. Is your peripheral vision normally works from the right hand side of the brain, right? So the right hand side of the brain is creativity and all the other lovely stuff that our spiritual people use. The left hand side is logic and analytics, right? So what happens is that when you are looking in your peripheral vision, this is your creativity. This is all the stuff that emerges around you. As soon as you look at something, and I do it every time for last 55 years, right? I look and I think, oh, what do you do that for? Because sometimes the logical part of your brain says, what are you looking at? And it looks past and you lose the vision. So when that starts building up, say, hey, Dad, is that you? Hey, I'm aware you're here. And let the peripheral vision build it up. Let it build it up so that logic doesn't say, what am I looking at?
Just stay here. Stay down the
yeah, and then you will just move slightly towards you. And it's great if you've got pets as well, because when I have my pets, I'll be like, move towards Daddy, and then they'd move.
Okay.
Like, and I'm like, oh God, and they'd follow where I can see the shadow moving. All right, so that's him. Meditate, guided meditations. I can send you one of mine. Just press play because you've got it. As you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. You are on the cusp of everything opening up for you and having this dialogue with him that you've so desperately needed since he passed. Mm-hmm. Okay, if anything, some people don't suffer as much because their mummy's girl, and it's like, sorry, mummy's boy, but it's just been a whole load of nothing where it comes to male support for you, and that's why you've been shaped how you've been, but you've smashed it. You could have gone a real dark route and you haven't.
I appreciate that.
You have to be so grateful for yourself, and you have to love yourself so much now, because if you don't, this A girl, it's either going to be someone's called Amy and go, hey, this is my friend, but there's an A connected around it. So I'm telling you, tell me when it happens, because it will. And literally, without loving yourself, my angel, you can't give that love and receive it and attract it. 100%. Without love, we are nothing on this planet. It's what love's all about. It's what makes the whole universe go round. So open your energy to it. Open your energy to, I'm so loving and I really know that I deserve this now. Affirm it. Not, oh, I hope someone comes along soon. That's the wrong way of talking to the universe. I'm really looking forward, Dad, to you bringing her. Thank you. And I don't care if you think you're looking at it. I used to when I used to talk to them out loud. I know you're still here. And so you just say, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to Anthony.
What was the last thing you said?
Anthony, Tony.
Antoinette was his mother.
Oh, sorry, is that his mother? Oh, I thought you were showing a female name. We'll make the names clearer, love.
Oh, so a woman isn't coming in my life then, huh? Is that what that means?
No, you've got another A as well. That's his mum. I'm telling you now. He said, I've never met somebody so sassy as you. And I've said back, well, if you're that good at saying that sentence, give me some more evidence. How they put up with me, I don't know. They need a few, amitriptyline or something to deal with me. Okay, it's to my left now, which I've only started recently working at. I always used to work to the right, and then suddenly all this angel upgrade and all this earth prophecy I do and all the rest of it, suddenly the left stuff is just eradicating my logic part of my brain. So he's standing to my left at the moment. He was aware of the rumble to begin with and was definitely trying to help people. So I'm telling you now, and if it's not there, I won't add it to make him a hero. But I just feel there's this hero element, and I know you see him as a hero. He's so proud of what you're doing, and this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning.
Oh man, this is the beginning. What the hell was I doing before all this?
Honestly.
That's great. That's great to hear, but also like, holy shit, this is the beginning.
What I mean is the beginning to you. This is.
No, I get it.
Towards now, it's going to go boom. Well, that's what I mean. It's the beginning of the boom.
And it's you said that thing about love, and I asked the question, what's the point of it all? I think that's a good bookend to this conversation, because I think the point is love.
Without it, we have nothing.
And all frequencies, all facets. I feel like you said that keeps everything going, and I think that's the answer that I like, at least.
And there's just one more thing, which is really weird coming from a man, but it could come from your grandma, the marigold. So there will be a marigold or a bright yellow flower that will just be popped straight in front of you, either on a screen or right in front of you as you walk, and it will kind of be on its own. It'll be right in your face, and that'll be your sign to say we were here and we were talking to you.
I would love that. I'm asking for it then.
Don't have to ask for it; they'll supply it.
All right, then I'm going to let it go at the same time. I think that's how it works. I think it's a lot of it is just letting it go while we pull this stuff in at the same time. Nikki, I appreciate you. I didn't expect us to go. I just like randomly asked. It wasn't planned. And then we went down this rabbit hole. So I appreciate you even, taking that journey with me and giving me that time.
That's why I said, sorry to interrupt, but that's why I said at the beginning, that's why I don't watch anybody. It does my head in to go, oh my God, have you seen so-and-so? Have you seen so-and-so? And I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah, I respect that.
Or ever speak to them, I can't, go with, I can't talk to them, and I can't do them a reading if they ask, because I won't, because I've already watched them, I know them.
I also might have lost your screen. I don't see you anymore. There you are.
My hair. Sorry.
Yeah, there you are.
Did you hear what I said? I'm just saying at the beginning. Sorry to interrupt, but at the beginning, that's why I said to you, I'm not being rude, but I can't watch you because, I miss out on so many great speakers, but I can't, because if they do ask me, I'm going to say, no, I can't read for you because I know your story. So thank you that I didn't do that, and, that was just basic reading. It wasn't my full capacity because I'm grieving and I'm pretty exhausted as well at the moment. But the whole point is I live with love, hope and complete faith that everything's going to be all right. And that's the message that I want to send across to you and everybody else that watches this.
Well, I love that. And I appreciate you, still stepping up and continually sharing that light when you're going through your own grief and you have your own experiences and whatnot. So that takes a lot of courage too. And at the same time, it's inspiring to still live in grief. So if that's where you are right now, I want to send love your way and to continue on the way that you have gone through with everything you have gone through. So as you said to everyone else, I want to say to you, everything's going to be okay.
And to you, and thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Take care, my darling angel.
I think you froze on me for anyone still listening, but I'm going to check in on Nikki real quick. You froze and you're smiling lovely. So I don't know if you hear me right now, but your photo looks fantastic. I might have lost you, Nikki. Not sure if you still hear me.
Okay. What did I tell you? When the energy before and at the end always fucked up. I'm telling you.
But it froze on a lovely screenshot because you were smiling and looking right at the camera. It was a great shot. I should have took a photo.
I know, the fucking light started flickering again. Who's my friend? And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to see it. And it froze. Oh, come on.
You're hilarious. No, I want to thank you for coming on. That was a blast. I didn't know much about you except the email that I got. And so when you hit me with your personality, I was very excited. You're very easy to talk to. You're a fun time and you've been through a lot, which kind of pulls it all together. So thank you. That was awesome. Again, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I wasn't even expecting you to do all that. So the fact that you did, that was cool. That was really cool.
That's absolutely fine. You're absolutely welcome. Just take on what you don't understand because it will all slowly make sense.
Yeah.
We're both on the spot and you kind of sit there and go, I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I took some notes because I know some of the stuff comes out like it doesn't register because it was on the cuff. I was listening on the cuff. I didn't come here thinking that was going to happen. So I took some notes. That's why I was looking at my phone when you were talking and we have the recording anyway, but I'll keep that in the back of my mind in case anything pops up and it does make sense. I'll let you know.
It's not going to be long now. I know how long, and this is not going on the thing, is it? This is us just chatting now, isn't it?
Yeah, let me, I'm going to just pop the episode out. I'll just do a quick, I want to thank you for being here again for the 49th time for everyone listening. I'm going to plug her information as usual in the show description so you could find her in case you want to seek her out, if you're willing to be sought out. And until next time, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Dead Talks. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell. That'll give you updates as to when we post a new video, more episodes, and more content in general. We are streaming on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and all that. And also find us on Instagram at Dead Talks Podcast or www.deadtalks.net. Thank you so much.